And then, 6 years later, we have the first attempt, to my knowledge, at an actual live-action filmed production of The Hobbit. It's a 1985 Soviet television play whose name translates to The Fabulous Journey of Mr. Bilbo Baggins, the Hobbit, across the wild land, through the dark forest, beyond the misty mountains, there and back again. Nobody can adapt The Hobbit to live action without unnecessarily extending something, even if it's just the title. The low budget is immediately apparent when you look at this thing, but it's not really a movie, not even a made-for-TV movie. It's a televised play, so it's like children's theater sets telling this children's tale, and I think that could work for The Hobbit. And, I think the handcrafted nature of this whole thing does have a certain charm.
Ничего волшебного в хоббитах нет. Они одеваются ярко, башмаков не носят, потому что от природы у них на ногах теплый пушистый мех.
This cross between Sean Connery and Dabney Coleman plays the professor, who is presumably supposed to be Tolkien himself. I kinda love that as a device. Again, the conversational, telling a child a bedtime story tone of The Hobbit's narration lends itself to having an actual narrator. Why not have it be old Tollers himself?
Еще, что в такое дивное утро, очень хорошо посидеть и подышать.
Bilbo is played by this Gordon Jump type here, and man, he really hits that exasperated and overwhelmed note hard. I mean, look at the arrival of the dwarf sequence.
Я вижу, наши собираются. Балин к вашим услугам.
Бильбо Беггинс к вашим. Не угодно ли чайку?
Меня больше бы устроил стаканчик кваса, если он у вас найдется. Но не откажусь я и от кекса с изюмом, если вас это не затруднит.
Ничуть.
It's so sitcom-y, just running back and forth, running out of breath. Like, I don't know the reason for Bilbo to take off his scarf when he answers the door and put it back on when he goes back to the dining room, but it is a good bit of business that helps sell how overwhelmed he is. Of course, the visuals kind of overwhelmed too. I can't really see what's going on in these shots of the foyer, but, it's otherwise a very, very effective version of the sequence, I think.
Все-таки приятно, что вы кое-что обо мне помните. Это значит, что вы не совсем безнадежны. И ради вашей матушки я дарю вам то, что вы у меня просите.
Gandalf is played by the older version of Vincent Price's hairdresser disguise from Theater of Blood.
Hello, I'm Butch.
This is a surprisingly sinister take on Gandalf, or at the very least, mischievous. Like, he feels kind of prankish. Like, he is just delighting in how miserable Bilbo is through every part of this journey. It's very weird.
Об пол бутылки, в печку салфетки, будет порядок, только скажи.
Chip the Glasses, Crack the Plates is, if anything, more organized than most versions of it are, but Bilbo still feels overwhelmed, until even he has to get into the spirit of the music. And again, Gandalf is just delighting in how much misery these dwarves are putting this poor hobbit through. Like, did he take special interest in Bilbo just because Gandalf's a bully and this is his chosen victim? We also have another solid version of Misty Mountains Cold. It might just be a song that it's impossible to get wrong. But after that promising start, then things start to get a little rushed. Not to the point of the Rembrandt Films Hobbit, of course, but things are kinda breezed through pretty quickly. Like, Rivendell is completely skipped, and the trolls, wargs, and eagles are all relegated to Bilbo's dream in the Misty Mountains. but also some of them maybe really happened. Yeah, the play better explain that too, since we only saw it in a dream. Like, they have this narrator, and they have no problem using the narrator to just relay plot points that happened off camera.
Вы спросите, что было дальше. Слушайте.
So why do they need to relegate pretty important plot points to dreams? By the way, Down Down to Goblin Town is not the total jam that Rankin Bass turned it into, but it is still pretty upbeat and accompanied by a ballet from dancers of the Mariinsky Theater. Behold, the Orc of the Dance. Then we meet Gollum, looking for all the world like a Martian ready to be conquered by Santa Claus, but, you know, it's a good children's theater version of Gollum. And then we get Riddles in the Dark.
30 белых коней. Друг другу навстречу помчатся скорей. Ряды их сойдутся, потом разойдутся и мирными станут. До новых затей.
Старье. Зубы, моя прелесть. Зубы. У нас их 6. Вот раз, два, три, 4.
But this production also does the stupid, deliberate non-riddle thing.
Слушай, что у меня в кармане?
Ну, это нечестно.
Почему нечестно?
Потому что нечестно спрашивать меня, что у этого мерзкого Бегинса в кармане.
Нет, ты отвечай, что у меня в кармане.
Is it just me? Does that not bother other people as much? Like, I really think it fundamentally changes Bilbo's character to have him cheat in a riddles game and not just fall backwards into something that works even though it shouldn't. But the big difference they make to Riddles in the Dark, Gollum actually sees Bilbo disappear with the ring.
Да. А в самом деле, что у меня в кармане? А сейчас посмотрим.
Куда он подевался? Мы догадываемся. Это он!
Also, Bilbo seems unsurprised that that worked. Like, did he somehow already suspect that this is what a magic ring would do? Also, like Rankin Bass, they skip the pity that stayed Bilbo's hand, which, what you gonna do? They also have Bilbo be way more taunting towards Gollum. And rather than actually follow Gollum out, he just overhears Gollum explain that there is a way out, and, well, that's all the info he needs. And like Rankin Bilbo did with Smaug, he takes the ring off for one last bit of mockery.
Ненавистный! Навсегда ненавистный!
Эй, моя прелесть, прощай и пораскинь мозгами.
Why do so many adaptations think Bilbo's best trait is taunting? And again, like Rankin Bass, we skip Beorn. And since we already had the wargs and the eagles just be in a dream, we go straight from leaving the Misty Mountains to the spiders of Mirkwood, just right outside the cave. And Bilbo's newfound confidence taunting Gollum gives him the confidence to taunt the spiders.
Эй! Жирный паук сгромоздился на сук и не видит меня среди белого дня.
I mean, that's something he actually does do in the book, so I'm fine with it. Then we skip the elves and go straight to Lake Town, where the ballet company returns to dance the prophecies of the Mountain King's return. And this is the first time we're having big folk interact with the dwarves.
Я Торин.
I thought they just weren't going to bother with scale, but I guess Gandalf is a hobbit wizard in this universe. Bilbo goes into Smaug's cave, and I can't tell if he's supposed to be wearing the ring and only we in the audience can see him, or if he straight up forgot to wear the ring. If he's not wearing the ring, since we skipped the elves, he basically does not use the ring at all to help on this journey. Which I guess is kind of like the Rembrandt film's Hobbit. But he finds the misshapen Arkenstone, and then the Smaug puppet appears. It's kind of adorable.
Я тебя чую. Я слышу твое дыхание.
I kind of want to build my own papier-mâché Smaug after seeing this guy. Smaug attacks Lake Town, and there's no thrush in this version, so Bilbo just personally tells Bard about the weak spot, which, at least, he relayed the information somehow, unlike in the Jackson version where just he and Bard found it out separately, and Bilbo finding it out doesn't pay off in any real way. Anyway, Bard deals with Smaug quickly.
Стойте!
Сюда приближается войско гоблинов.
Oh man, the ballet troupe is going to have to fight themselves. So then the battle of some number of armies happens. Gandalf is just real chipper about the whole thing. Bilbo and Thorin have their deathbed reconciliation. Bilbo goes home. It's not a less faithful adaptation than Rankin Bass's, so whichever one you like better probably depends on which visual style you prefer, or which TV movie you have more personal nostalgia for.